Hello, welcome to part two on Football Dialogue. We'll be talking about my fantasy team in general. It wasn't the best of week for most fantasy fans, but it was a good week for some that were at the bottom who made changes to their team, who brought in players that were going to give them the points that they need to be able to go above players that are ahead of them after the first two game weeks. So game week three wasn't exactly the best for most of us, but it's a marathon, like I said, never a sprint, and you need to stick to your strategy. Most of us, like myself, brought in players in the likes of Chris Woods. We even made him captain, but he blanked unexpectedly. We expected Forest to score goals against West Ham, but they couldn't get a goal. And even if you had their defense, which we thought could at least mastermind a clean sheet, they conceded 3 goals. They drank a whopping 3 goals against Graham Potter West Ham. It was a shocker. It wasn't the best of game week from a fantasy point of view, especially if you have Nottingham Forest assets in your team. I've got two of them in Aino and Chris Woods, and blank from both of them. Aino giving me, I think, a point or two, yeah. And Chris Woods, who I made my captain, just bringing him in. I brought him into the team thinking he was going to get goals. He was the most certain player that is going to get points for me. And I made him captain, and he couldn't even get a sniff. But we move on. And another one, Mo Kudus for Tottenham Hotspur on my team. A blank. Rangers against Brighton, a blank. Elanga, a blank. And it was just a poor game week. Pickford, a blank too as well. Not even a safe point, 1 point from Pickford. So you could see that my team was bad. I just got points from Cucurella, Munoz, Joao Pedro, and Injayev of Everton, and that was it. But we move on, we ride on. I've just moved down from 13K5 to top 75K now. So I guess we ride on. Still a good position anyways after the first 3 game week. Once you're in the top 100, you're still very much in a good place. So I think that's not going to be damaging for me on the long run, because I just need to stick to the strategy, because if you bring in Chris Woods now and he blank and you want to take him out again, I don't think that's going to work. That's not how to play fantasy. So, but now his next game is against Arsenal. So if you can't score against West Ham, the expectation is that you're not going to get a goal against Arsenal. So I really do not know what to do with Chris Woods right now, especially with the signing of Isak for Liverpool. And I'm not sure if Liverpool is going to start with Isak because they are playing Burnley. So I don't know. Are they going to start with Isak and Ekitike? I've got Ekitike in my team. I left him on the bench for this game week. So next game week against Burnley, should I bring him in? It's a big thought. It's a serious thought that I need to have. But I'll wait for the presser that we'll have prior to the game week and know what changes I need to make for my team. Because right now, the review of my team, it was shambles. It was shambles. It was shambles. My captain choice was not the best at all, and it was something that I was anticipating to give me the boost, and it turned out to be a crisis. You know, it was a crisis this game week, but still in a good place, like I've said. And for you guys that are going to be tinkering with your squad, it's not something that is advisable now. Now everything is settled. All the signings have been made. You know the players that are in a particular club, and we need to see for a game or two to see who is going to be a regular starter. Then you can actually start making the decision that you need to better your squad. But for now, like I've always said, it's better to keep your squad as good as you can and make sure that you don't weaken your bench too much, because some players might not play a game, might be injured, and you need somebody to come in for him on your bench, and you don't have a starter in the team or somebody that might even get to play in the game, and that's 0 points essentially. So you need to be smarter now. You need to make smart moves now. You need to bring in players that will actually get running in their respective team. And there are some cheap players that you can get. Like I have a plan for my midfield, the changes that I need to make. I'm still going to watch Tijani Reinders for a bit before I'm going to decide on what to do with him, because I've seen cheaper players that can actually give me points and who are going to be starters too as well. So it's going to be an interesting fantasy season. I'm really anticipating to see come December where we're going to be in terms of my position in the overall table. So yeah, good one. So players we should be looking out for now. Arsenal players, they're playing Burnley. Way to go in terms of defense. It's something that is a certainty that you're going to get the minimum 6 points for clean sheets. You're going to get that from any of Arsenal defense because they are playing Burnley at home. So if you want to make changes to your defense, Arsenal are the team to go to right now. And the expectation is that they are not going to be having a tougher fixture because they've played Liverpool at Anfield. So I don't see any tough fixture that they are going to be having that they will not be able to keep clean sheets, at least for a reasonable number of games. So next, if you can afford them, go get them. And Chelsea too as well. They will look to have defenders who are contributing to the attack now. So you could see Chaloba winning the penalty that Enzo scored. So that's like an assist. That's like an assist. That's an assist in fantasy. So Cucurella too as well. Clean sheets. However, no additional points. But these are players that you should opt for. Chelsea look like a side that are becoming stronger defensively with the help of Moises Caicedo, the bully, the DEFCON guru, the DEFCON master, the DEFCON genius is always there to give you 2+2 points no matter what. So you know that you're guaranteed at least 3 points and 4 points if he doesn't get a booking. So he's a go-to player if you just want a player on the bench, at least cheap player if you can afford that for your midfield. So Crystal Palace too, they've got wing backs that are actually really good. I have Munoz on my team. I'm going to keep him on my team. I knew his 5.5 million is a good value for the player that he is. So Grealish too is another option for you in the coming game weeks for people who are looking to make changes to their midfield. Grealish is something that is a player that you should look out for because the way he's been playing for Everton has been really good, and it seems like the manager Moyes trusts him enough to be able to get the job done and to be able to get full 90 minutes for the team too as well. And Kenan Jusbriol, like I've always said, is a player who is going to be significant for them, and now he's contributing to goals too as well. So these are cheap midfield options for you to switch to if you are going to be playing your white card wherever time. But I don't advise you playing your white card just before the return of players after the international break. You should give it a game or two before you decide on exercising your white card. So Kudus, Tottenham Hotspur, I'll keep him on my team. He's somebody that I know will get goals, especially against. But goal contribution from Kudus now is looking like he's going to be a Semenyo kind of player who is going to give you good performance, but it's not going to contribute to goals. But it's a goal. They didn't score a goal against Bournemouth anyway, so we can't say it wasn't part of those contributing to the goal. So I'll still give him a good run of games for my fantasy team before I decide on what to do to see if there's any player that is going to profit me from goal scoring, from goal contributions. Yeah, so attackers now, we're looking at Isak and Joao Pedro, we're looking at the ones that are nailed on. Some donuts, some funny people, brought in Gyökeres in their team, their fantasy team against Liverpool. And that was super funny for me to see that Gyökeres was among those who was in the top list of people that were being transferred in, I was shocked to see that, but we've got some people who are new to fantasy and who don't really understand some players, and they just think because of the noise, the furor about a particular player, and they just decide to bring him onto the team. So imagine spending that amount of investing that amount of money for Gyökeres, and it turned out to be blanking against Liverpool. And he's going to blank for a couple of games, but I guess the idea might be looking at the fixtures that Arsenal are going to be having after the Liverpool game, and I think maybe that would have been a pointer for them to bring him on to their team. But if that's the case, then okay, I think that's fine. If that wasn't the case, then that's not smart enough. That's not clever from them. So, like I said in my team, we got me 45 points with me getting points from Cucurella, Injaye, Joao Pedro, and which other player? And Munoz gave me 9 points, 3 maximum bonus points from Munoz, which was good to see, which showed how good he played in the game. Even though he did not contribute to the goal, he was able to get that many points. So good one from Munoz. Good one from Munoz. Well, I think you got 2 points. I think the one more point is the DEFCON. Yeah, you got a DEFCON point, 1 point, and it's not a maximum point from Munoz. Two bonus points from Munoz and one DEFCON. So no, 1 bonus point and 2 DEFCON. Yeah, I think you got 1 bonus point Munoz and 2 DEFCON. Yeah. DEFCON gives you +2. Yeah, so I think 1 bonus point for Munoz. 9 points. I'm happy. Thanks, Munoz. I'm keeping you on my team. And AKTK, I think you'll be back on my team. I just need to listen to Arne Slot's presser, and then I will know what to do, whether to keep you on my team or replace you with a more with a player that is most likely going to be a starter. And Isak, I can't wait to bring Isak into my team, but I need to see how Liverpool play first to be able to decide, because if they are going to be playing a 4-4-2, it's going to change. They are going to change the way that they play. But I think Arne Slot will prefer to play Gakpo on the left than playing AKTK. So I expect AKTK to go to the bench if they want to stick to the structure, to the pattern, to their style of play. So AKTK will be the second choice striker for Liverpool. That's what I think is going to be. But let's see what Arne Slot is going in his locker in terms of I want to pattern his team. So we'll wait and see that. I think there's not much to review on the game. We all had a bad game. Most of us had a bad game. So that used to happen. There are occasions where most players just have a bad game, and that gives the opportunity for people who played chips, who have just done some random things, some luck, and they just get lucky and they are able to rise up higher up the table. So don't panic too much. Stick to the strategy, like I've always said, and then you'll see yourself. If you play by the game, play by the rules, just plan yourself. It's about planning. Fantasy is about planning, and you need to look at the games that the players are going to be playing. You need to look at how much game time they're getting. You need to look at the contribution they have to the team, the contributions they're having on their team, and you need to look at the fitness level. These are things that you need to look out for. These are the criteria of making your squad as good as possible to get you the maximum points that you can in terms of how you play the game. So just stick to your strategy, and it's a marathon, like I said, never a sprint. So before you definitely know how to be the changes that you need to make, because you don't expect to start the game and then you make changes and it doesn't work, and you make changes again. You might just lose it and you find yourself well below, and you can't catch up again, and you just stop playing the game. So if you want to stay on the game till the last game week, the 38th game week, you need to plan your you need to strategize, you need to plan, and you find yourself at the top. So yeah, I think that's it for fantasy football today. Mateta, I made 2 wrong choices. I wanted to bring in Safo instead of Elanga. I chose Elanga ahead of Sa. Sa made a contribution. I wanted to bring in. I was deciding between Woods and Mateta, and I chose Woods ahead of Mateta, and that's how I made 2 choices that did not benefit me. But that's the game. That's fantasy football for you. Not every choice that you make is going to work out, but you need to make sure that the choices that you make, most of them work out for you to be at the top. So that's it, guys, for today. I see you on the next one. More to talk about. We'll be talking about transfer. I think I'll be doing a couple of videos more during this international break, just to keep the flow. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.